Hello there, greetings to you. I would just like to say thanks to the folks who choose to subscribe to this channel and those of you who choose to refer the videos on this channel to other viewers so that they too can be part of the reasoning. Over the last 10 years or so, the whole question of religion and its means and methods of presenting itself in a changing world has proven to be something that maybe no one expected. For example, for more than 100+ years, the world has gotten used to all the world's religions in their respective roles and modes of operations. For example, people will recognize Adventists as setting up some very big tents and having crusades, even though they sought to change the name from crusades now because the name is associated with wars. People recognize Jehovah's Witnesses for their going from house to house and having these large conventions and assemblies at schools and stadiums and so on. And all the different religions, people know their operations. But over the last decade or so, with the use of technology, religions are more and more forced to employ the use of technology in their propaganda weaponry or arsenal. And so Jehovah's Witnesses are no exception, especially since COVID-19. The operations as we know it has virtually ground to a halt. And so, to some extent, the witnesses have to play catch up on their use of technology to spread their messages. But there is a flip side to that operations. Because prior to COVID-19, when the witnesses operation was by and large foot soldiers going about place to place, it was not so common for people to tune in to their technological means of presenting their messages. But now that everything seems to have gone online, then it turns the attention of the world to the online platform, and that creates its own set of challenges for jw.org. For example, the way these platforms work. If you tune in to jw.org, then underneath jw.org, you will see other videos that if you want to, you can scroll up to examine what those other videos are. So if you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses, for example, and you are tuned into jw.org, you will see options just below that because there are other videos, and the natural tendency is to scroll up. And if you're looking at jw.org, those who organize the online platform set it up in such a way that you will see just below there other JW propaganda apparatuses that are not presented by Jehovah's Witnesses. So whether they might be apostates, That is to say, those persons who may have left the faith and want to wage a war against it. Or it is persons who feel that they can utilize the jw.org to research all the relevant information they need to prove their point. And so in this video, I just want to recognize the prevalence of materials presented about Jehovah's Witnesses from two online media platforms, same place on YouTube. There is a guy called Winston out of Montego Bay, very slim, dark fellow who has a channel that is called Watchtower Examiner. And you also have another YouTube channel operated by a young man called Lloyd Evans. These two gentlemen are very popular on the social media platform, and their main aim is to try and undo all the gains of Jehovah's Witnesses. But I wish I had the chance that I could, speak to them, because I know in the case of Lloyd Evans that he is angry for having been disfellowshipped, for example, been thrown out of the organization, and have to suffer the rejection of his close family members. Psychologically, that's hard to bear for most people. And so he decided the best way to fight back is to proclaim himself an atheist and to try to astutely find every error that is made by the Watchtower Society to use it against them. But if I were to talk to Lloyd Evans, I would let him know that mistakes are as old as humankind. There has never been a time when there has ever been any perfection, not even close to perfection, of anything on planet Earth. Human being has always find themselves in a situation where they are searching for something. The level of success they may have had for what they're searching for is anybody's guess. I might have my views, Lloyd Evans might have his views, and Winston in Montego Bay, Jamaica, might have his views. Winston is a very eloquent young man, and he is fairly well researched into the Watchtower publications. And so he easily can find over several decades articles, paragraphs in publications that is no longer what it used to be today. And anybody who is familiar with Jehovah's Witnesses knows that that is a constant feature of their organizational structure. In a video that I did a few weeks ago, I spoke about religion shifting the goalpost. I've gotten some good reviews about that video. Now, Winston will make it sound as though this is a peculiar matter to Jehovah's Witnesses, but it is not. It is not. There is no religion that you can ever name that remain constant throughout their history. Not one. And the need to change course is not unique to Jehovah's Witnesses. It's part and parcel of how religions do their thing. Because there's a greater point I want to get to. Maybe I might not be able to do all of that in this video. There are some persons who believe that the Bible is just an ancient novel that is exciting to read and is not a book to be taken seriously. Jehovah's Witnesses believe it is the inspired word of a God who lives in heaven, whom they have called Jehovah. And they believe that they have the right to determine what in it are symbolic, what in it are literal, and what should be followed and what should not be. But every religion does that in their own way. Every single one. Whether they use the Bible as part of the Christian faith or they have other holy books, because there are several others. You have the Quran, you have the Bhagavad Gita, as in the case of the Hindu religion, and all religions metamorphosize, go through changes, and so everyone is basically searching for a niche in the world market of humanity. And because human beings have this innate desire to believe that they are not alone in the universe and that a limited lifespan such as we have cannot be all there is to life, then mankind make it their aim to search for whatever else is there. Now, once a person is searching, they're gullible. Once you're searching for something, you're gullible. It doesn't matter what you're searching for. If you lost something on the road, maybe money, maybe your purse, whatever it is of value to you, you're searching for it. And somebody say, see it here, you will turn around. You're gullible because you're searching. And just about everyone who has ever searched for something is likely to find something. Is likely to find something. There are those who claim to have found nothing, and so they might take the path of atheism. But that's still something that they find. They find nothing. So they become atheists. They're, not a believer in, a person who creates this or creates that. So they have found something. So just about everyone who has ever searched for something has found something. And sometimes that something you might find is nothing, Now, Lloyd Evans, a former Jehovah's Witnesses, now a self-proclaimed atheist, the truth is most of mankind, and some person would probably dare say all mankind are atheist. And that might sound surprising that all mankind are atheist. There's a saying in the Bible, in one of the Psalms, that the fool said in his heart, there is no God. Now, there are some persons who debate that and say that is not referring to atheist because the atheist does not say in his heart, there is no God. The atheist proclaim publicly, there is no God. So the ones who are saying in their heart, there is no God, are the ones who are believers. The very ones who claim to have found God, a lot of them within their own innermost self question whether or not there is. And that's a type of atheism as well. You might call it agnostic because they might not be sure. If you notice the great number of persons, the greater number of persons who say, for example, they're Christians, they will tell you they believe in God. I'm a believer. Now, it is said that a belief is a reasonable doubt. I don't know if you have ever found someone in your life who, for example, is a mother who said, I believe this is my child, or I believe this is my house. Once you are sure of something, you don't use the word belief. So the mere fact that people say they believe in God mean that they have a doubt somewhere. And it is my humble view that if people were to live long enough, more and more people would become atheistic because time proves that most of what people believe is not quite the way they believe it. And it has always been so, you know. So, to Winston, who feel that his mission is to try and undo what Jehovah's Witnesses have tried to do over nearly 150 years, is a vain exercise. Vain exercise. You know, no organization is fundamentally different from the other one. You know, you might have some persons who, are more fanatical than others. But in the end, all religions are believers and all beliefs are uncertain. You know, when I listen to Winston with his Watchtower Examiner series, I have not seen him offering anything that's different. His views are different, but that's what it is. You know, he said he was a Baptist and then he left the Baptist faith for the Adventist faith. But then somebody would ask, if there is only one God, why would that be necessary? You know, in some of his videos, he make the point that all the other religions believe in the same God except Jehovah's Witnesses. But if the God that the Adventists believe in and worship were the same that the Baptists believe in and worship, why would he need to leave there to go to the other place? So even he is contradicting himself. You know, Lloyd Evans, I feel it for you. I know what it must be like to lose your friends or your associates and to have your parents shun you. He said he has two children and his father never meet them yet because his father is an elder. You know, those are the levels of people's thinking about religion. In my next video, I don't normally tell ahead of time what my next video will be because very often my mind on things might quickly change, and that's not unusual. But I want to use my next video to talk a bit about this fellow we call Satan. So this is a preview that I will spend my next video talking about Satan because this fellow seems to be a lot more than anybody thinks. He's truly multifaceted. And you have to ask yourself if the people who claim that they believe in God is in fact worshiping the same person named Satan. Is that possible? Tune in for the next video. Until then, blessed love.